Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Kenza James. Sorry about me being MIA for a while. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to draft and sew a shirt. So for the drafting, I just mark the length of my shirt plus hemming allowance. Then I'm marking 2 inches for the button space where I'm going to be adding button or button overlap, whatever works for you. So I'm going ahead to rule it. After that, I'm going to be marking my shoulder, which is 9.5, because I want the shirt to be loose. Then I'm marking my shoulder slant, which is 2.5. Then I'm connecting the shoulder slant to the point where the button overlap starts. Then I'm marking my neck width, which is 2.7. Then the neck depth that I'm working with, which is almost 3 inches, 2.75. Now then I marked my armhole line starting from the initial shoulder point. Then I drew a straight line across. Then I'm marking a quarter of my bust measurement on that line. Now I'm starting from after I'm starting after the button overlap. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to draw my armhole curve, which I marked that straight line initially. Then I made the curve. Then I marked my waist measurements and my hip measurements. I want the shirt to be boxy, just straight, so I'm not marking my waist exactly. I'm just making from the same thing from my bust downward. Now I added half inch ease allowance and 1 inch sewing allowance on all of it. Then I'm opening the button overlap. By the time I'm done doing that, I'm going to be folding the button overlap inwards and ironing it nicely so that I can be able to use the same pattern to cut the back side. So this is me just ironing it. Make sure you use a steam press iron so that everything lies properly. By the time I'm done, I'm going to fold my fabric again in half so that I can cut the back. This time around, I do not want a seam or an opening at the center back, so I'm just folding it and I'm using the folded side to put my button overlap. Then I'm going to measure starting from the shoulder slant. You remember that 2.5 inches that I cut for the shoulder slant? I'll put it back. Then on the upper side, I'll put it as well, and I'll go ahead and connect the line. Now by the time I connect the line, I'll go ahead and cut following the other bodies, right? Every other place will be exactly the same except for the button overlap. Then I'll fold the neck like so. That's the 2.5 inches that I added for shoulder slant. Then I'll go ahead and press it down so that it creates a crisp line there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mark my front neckline, which I worked with. Starting from that back is 4 inches. Then I'll cut starting from the front side. Just the front panel is what I'm cutting. Then I'll go ahead and make a curve towards the back side. If you can see and understand what I mean, this is just what I mean. So the back depth is not going to be, I'm not going to use back depth, just the front. By the time I'm done, then I'll go ahead to press my button overlap, right? So I want it to be 1 inch. That's why I left it 2 inches. So what I mean is I'm going to fold it so that it becomes 1 inch. Now I'll be adding hemming gum so that it helps me hold it nice and proper, so that when I'm sewing it, everything will be nice and clean. You can do without this, but I just want to have it in mind because it also helps with stability. Then I do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out facing for my back panel. So I'll just cut out a facing side or a yoke, whatever you prefer to call it, for the back side of the shirt. And this is what the yoke looks like. I'll just fold the hem of the yoke like so, add hemming gum as well. Then I'll just lay it like this and then double check it if it's okay. Then match it together with that side of the back and ensure that everything is nice, right? So I'm going to be layering it to sew. I'll put the facing first. then I'll put my front panel, then the back panel. Now, so that by the time I stitch and I turn it like this, the facing goes back to the back. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'm going to be drafting a collar, right? So I have an in-depth video on how to draft and stitch a collar, so I'm not going to go in depth about this collar, but I'm just going to let you watch without explaining anything, and I'm going to be linking the collar video up for you to watch, right? So this is the finished look of the shirt. I'm going to be posting a sewing video, a sewing tutorial next, so do ensure to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and share my videos with others so they can see you in my next video, guys.